get started, everyone. Good evening. My name is Nigeria Chambers. I am from Big Gold Belt Media. Very excited to talk to you all about Wicked City and all the success that you all have had thus far. And obviously, we want to look forward in terms of the news with season 3, which that news was broke in February, and now all things are leading to March of next year. How's all of you all doing today? How you feeling?
Fabulous.
Hectic.
Good,
Good.
good.
I'm very good.
A lot of black
Magical.
excellence in here right now. I am just thrilled about just so many things about the show I really want to dive into. But before I get started, because I always got to be a little extra at times. Miss Serena, you're from the DMV. I'm in DC. So I just want to just give a just quick shout out to Miss Bowie State, because every time I see somebody or hear somebody from the area, I got to shout them out. So representing the DMV as well here. Um,
Yes.
but with that being said, like you all, you from, coming from the DMV, from the Shy and whatnot, I want to start by asking, why was Atlanta sort of the backdrop here? What was the selection with that? You had DC, you had Chicago. Why Atlanta? What was the decision behind that? Not that I hate it or anything, but I'm just curious.
All right. So let me run this down for you. When we developed the show, we actually developed it to be shot in Baltimore
Wow, that
because
would have been
Tranette lived in Baltimore for like 3 years. I live in Baltimore now. Serena is in Maryland. And so we were, the production company that was going to do it is based in Maryland. So we had set it for Baltimore. Then as we got going and we were developing it, the producers we brought on were based in LA. So then we were going to shoot it in LA. So then we were trying to change it around. I had never been to LA. We were just like researching. And then those producers had to come off for an emergency. And the next producers that we brought on to run the project on the ground, they were like, okay, we're shooting in Atlanta. So that's how it ended up in Atlanta. It wasn't actually a creative choice. It was more of a logistical choice.
I figured as much.
But Atlanta is like Black Mecca, so it works.
Yeah,
It worked out.
exactly. And like the one thing too, I mean, I would imagine Atlanta just has so many like backdrops that just really works towards this to this genre. And there's definitely some set locations that I'm just like wowed about, that I'm even imagining like, yeah, that probably does exist in Atlanta. Atlanta's always a little bit of a place of still new discoveries at times. So I'm sure, like, besides logistically, it just really it was really like a benefit to a lot of the story being told with just the sets itself. But I want to start off by something that when I first discovered this show, which was sort of a sigh of relief, and I know you probably have heard this 10 times over, but a lot of us felt like this genre was always very underrepresented and but in high demand. And I've talked to Rachel True so many different times. Rachel True is considered the golf queen, the
The
first black
fairy
golf queen,
godmother of us all.
and to this day she still talks about, like, she doesn't get the credit at times for that, and we do, but overall, even with them doing that other craft thing, didn't even get a call for that, but that's another there. But yeah, we all know, especially in our community, that going back even to that, we always wanted to see ourselves in this genre more. And when this came out, obviously the first season, social media went crazy about it, and you came back with season 2, and now everybody's hooked, and now everybody's looking forward to season 3. I'm just curious for you all, understanding that this was a represented, we were misrepresented it and underrepresented it in this genre. What was sort of just the batter in you all's back to get this done, and then tell it the way it needed to be told?
Okay. For me,
I
this
feel
has been
go
a
ahead.
ultimate, like seeing Black witches on screen has been like this from little, watching Charmed, watching Buffy, watching The Craft, watching everything. I was like, ooh, I want to see me on screen. I want to see more of me. And as for me, I like sci-fi, I like horror. Those are the two things that I want to write. So this was like, there was a no-brainer when Kristin was like, oh, Serena, you want to jump on? I was like, when do we start? Let's do this right now. Because that's all I want to see is me, our people on this screen.
Yeah.
Beautiful Black women represented in multiple ways. and educated and know what they're doing. And in this sci-fi world, I don't understand why people don't understand that Black people love sci-fi. You know, I don't care. Yep, I got made fun of when I was little, but everybody that made fun of me when I was little are watching anime right now. So
Better talk that talk.
we can all just join together and say we all love sci-fi and we need more Black sci-fi.
Yep.
Period.
That talk. It's crazy too. In 2024, we're still having to make the same argument that Black people like more than just the normal tropes. But like, yeah, we like anime, we like sci-fi, fairies, witches, goths. We all were teased. We all were a part of it. And again, as we continue to pray and hope that we continue to see ourselves on screen, you know, this is obviously a part of the solution here. And I thank you just on that note alone for being able to get this and this much success thus far. Kind of a two-part question to you here, and I'm gonna come to you, Kristin, here. And actually everybody, but what's been sort of the response from social media, and how have you all been receiving that, considering that, again, with everybody wanting this, but everybody's being very vocal about how satisfied they are by having this now? What's sort of been you all sort of intaking of that excitement from everybody?
I mean, well, it feels pretty good. I think before it came out, we were really nervous. We were like, "Oh my gosh, we know it's good, but what if it bombs somehow?" And having one of the things that kept getting said over and over is, "I've always wanted to see this. Oh my God, there's a show about Black witches. I always wanted to see this," over and over. It's the same feeling that we had, the same feeling that I had when I was like, okay, something different, Black witches. I was like, Serena, get in on this with me. Is like, we wanted to see something we hadn't seen, but had always wanted. And having so many people respond in that way was really, I mean, I don't speak for myself, but I'm extremely grateful and honored by the response that we've gotten. And you know, not all the feedback is positive. Some people are haters, but but by and large, the people that come to the show and really love the show, they love that they get to see Black witches. They love that they love the characters.
Yeah.
It's the story, but they love the characters. They're like very protective of these characters. Like, I've never seen men be so protective of the character of Jordan. They're like, I see Javi on the street, it's on site. I'm taking him down. I'm like, whoa, you guys, he's an actor. Like, you know, but there's like so much like love for these characters because they're so real and different than what we normally get to see, and that's part of what we wanted to bring through.
I love that I haven't seen any homophobia about the queer representation,
and the queer people are speaking loud and proud about it too, and I love it.
And this is so funny. Like, I look at it, when the seasons were happening, I would be like, oh, I should probably like see it, how people like the show, and then like never look again. Like, so I have no idea. But when I do look, there has never been any homophobia, which is rare in a comment section. Like, people love them in their relationships. So it's like people love Angela. And so people, you know, could relate to Angela and Mona, and then the excitement of Angela and Darlitra, and just, you know, those dynamics in seeing people just come together through circumstances, I feel like has trumped before anybody could get homophobic. Like, it was, they were already invested in the characters and just seeing how they develop and seeing the course of their relationships, which is chef's kiss.
Yeah. Kharmony, let's get you off mute there. What's been your reception to this? And obviously being a very intricate, I can't even talk, part of writing these characters here. But yeah, go for it.
I absolutely am just so honored to just be a part of this amazing writing team. I love that we get to bring so much power to Black women in a different light, and authority, and it's sisterhood. Like, there's so much that the show has, you know, and the bonus is that it's fantasy and horror and sci-fi. Like, those are like the bonuses to me. I'm invested in, especially as a queer woman, I'm invested in the lesbian storyline. You have a lot to look forward to in season 3.
Okay.
And so stay tuned. That was definitely one of my favorite contributions. The love story, like this is a story like, you know, like you said, like we have our common tropes, but like, you know, we have stories that we all can relate to, that everyone can relate to: family, disappointment, heartbreak, all these things. And then like on top of that, they have a whole other world of elements to them that they have to navigate. And so I feel like there's so much even in that anyone can relate to. Like maybe, you know, they don't have powers, but there might be something about, you know, Jordan's, you know, being in a conundrum between one thing and another that, you know, someone can relate to. Like their version of that power could be something else in their life. So, you know, I love that we get to play around and just have these like mind-bending storylines. And I love everything that's just not regular, like not norm. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I love this series, and I cannot wait to continue to grow with the show and for you all to see what we cooked up for season 3.
Hey now, you know what's so interesting? First, because Black doesn't crack, and I don't know how old anybody is here, but like I would imagine we're all, you know, from different cities, different generations, but we all love the same thing. And it's still puzzling to me that we still have to plead that we like these things. And now we have, you know, essentially 4 different people that's, you know, at some point never even met each other, but all come together to talk about something we all love. Who would have thought? But listen, y'all talked a lot about the camaraderie amongst the ladies here, and then y'all brought in a juggernaut for season 2. The introduction of Julius is probably one of the most sinister characters, played by the fantastic Gary Anthony Sturgis here. You know, if you're going to have good heroes, good protagonists, you have to have an antagonist that's got to stand toe to toe with them. Can y'all talk about the introduction? Can you talk about having them on? And then obviously having to construct this character to be as strong to make the stakes even higher. You like talk about this for me.
I don't know if we start with actor first or story first.
The thing that nailed Julius for me, like I feel like me and Kristen were just on the phone, and it's when he's talking to Sarah and he says the poisonous C word to her, and I'm like, that is your daughter. like that is a moment, like, and it's always, those are the moments as a writer that helps me get into a character. Even if I'm like coming back to my own work, there has to be an in. And if you look at your daughter in just like pure contempt and disgust and like say something like that to her, the subsequent things that he does make a ton of sense. And so for him to like that you need that villain who believes so passionately in what he's doing, that level of hatred and poison balance out to him and in his goals. So Gary as an actor definitely was able to give both that like fatherly, like good job, buddy, but also like he yelled and I was like, oh, like I didn't know it was coming, you know?
Yeah, he had to be really dynamic because Julius was, we had kind of an idea of him when we were like coming towards the end of season 1, and we were like, all right, so the big bad of season 2 is going to be Camille's dad. And we're going to find out all like her birth father. We're going to find out all this history, and it's got to be complex, and it's got to be something to do with the handler. And so we had like those pieces, and then bringing it together, it's like, he's got to be someone who he can say that to his daughter. He's got to be able to reel in Javi and the handler as like a young Isaac. He's got to be able to like make the girls feel intimidated, but also like he might be on their side. Like there's so many different layers to it, and he just absolutely nailed it. And he's got to have like that conviction in what he's doing. Like, I will do anything for this because I truly believe that what I'm doing is right. And also, like, an added element to that is like his absolute contempt for the council that he is on, you know. So for him to be this big leader who is also like he's seeing all the bad things in them, and he's like not seeing in himself, because to him, the things that he's doing is always justified. The end always justifies the means.
Mm, mm. Let's wrap it with this final question, everyone. We hinted about season 3 enough, in more ways than enough in our talk today. But let's get a little bit more specifics. Of course, you can't talk spoilers, and I'm not sure exactly where you're at in terms of the production or anything with it. But I hear it is to start production in March. But obviously, ideas and stuff are flowing now. If you have such 2 strong seasons thus far, and as we talked about, you know, introductions of characters like Jules coming in the second season, what might be some buzzwords? What might be some expectations? What might be some introductions? And because the cast is just continue to get better and better too. Is there anybody or anything you may be able to say to that? Anything to get the fans excited that you may be able to talk about just right now? So again, we could go buzzwords. We could go like a particular character we may be looking forward to, anything of that sorts that's not going to get AMC Networks behind any of our backs here.
I know that's what I'm trying not to do, is like what to spoil, because we're in post-production right now. So yeah, we shot it starting in March. So we are in post-production right now, but I want to say just buckle up, because we got a big bad that is next level.
Like, if you thought it was bad, oh, it's so much better. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh my God, the big bad in season 2, and then the big bad in season 3. You're like, oh, that's what they doing now. You know, it's a little like let's say a little crazy, little
I like
wild, little definitely different, something different.
The bad got better. I like that.
The bad got better, yes.
I would say we delve a little bit into more of like horror genre.
That's what I was going to say. That's a buzzword. It's horrific. It gets a lot more horrific in season 3 for sure.
All right, I can get with that. You know, I'm thinking y'all were starting March of next year, so you've already wrapped. That's good news. That's all I need to hear. So that means we're looking for a release, possibly in the end of this year, early next year, but sometime soon.
Yeah, probably in the fall.
Amazing. Well, listen, ladies, thank you so much for your time today. Wicked City has just been something that we all have really wanted over the years, and now that we have it, we're not letting it go. So we're going to be riding out with you all as long as y'all got the pens to the paper and got the means to keep telling this story. And if there's something else down the line that needs to be represented, I'm sure you all will get behind it and get it done. But I truly appreciate the time and everything y'all done thus far.
Thank you so much, honey.
Thank you so much. And please be sure to look out for Wicked City season 3 coming this fall. Download Allblk, catch up on Wicked City seasons 1 and 2. And I want to give a shout out to both Kristin and Serena, who are currently being considered for an Emmy. So please take a look at that. Tell your friends who are on the voting boards to vote for Wicked City and vote for them. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Amazing plug there. And also time to get to voting myself. So thank y'all so much for the time today. And I hope you have a good rest of your press day.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I